So I just got back from seeing Man of Steel last night, and before I actually begin my actual review, I'm just gonna say that I love Marvel and I love DC. I just don't like Superman because he's just very generic all around in terms of superpowers, backstory, and he was just OP as fuck. And I didn't really relate to the character that much either. And basically, when I first heard the regular Man of Steel movie, I was just like, really, another Superman film? And I just kept seeing trailers for Man of Steel. I'm just like, this looks interesting. This kind of looks like something I would watch. Then I decided to go see Man of Steel, and I was pleasantly surprised. Although I was pleasantly surprised, doesn't mean that the movie wasn't perfect either. Now, the Man of Steel plotline is very similar to the 1989 Batman film, where you get an idea of the character's origins through their flashback. I like this because it mixes up the superhero origin story, because it's not from point A to point D to point Z. It's just more like, okay, you get it. This happens, and it's like, oh, flashback, this, and so on and so forth. The overall plot is about Clark trying to figure out who he actually is and what his purpose in life is, because he had a rough childhood because of his powers and he wasn't used to the Earth atmosphere, I guess, something like that. And he essentially kind of becomes like an urban legend throughout the world. And he essentially finds the Fortress of Solitude and essentially accesses some like records, discovers who he actually is, where he's actually from, yada yada yada. But as soon as he discovers that, this attracts the attention of General Zod and his followers to Earth. And essentially, he wants to take over Earth and make it into a new Krypton by terraforming the Earth, killing off its inhabitants. Essentially, Superman, Lois Lane, and the military join forces to fight off Zod and his army of rogue Kryptonians. Now, what I liked about the film is that the first couple minutes, it spends time on Krypton there, and you learn a lot about the culture. Like, fortresses themselves looks very futuristic, but they also looks very medieval. Even the costumes they wore, from like the robes and the armors, like, it reminded me of something I would see out of the Lord of the Rings movies. Now, the action scenes in the movie were great, because from start to finish, there's never a dull moment. When I mean never a dull moment, I mean as in just, it's just basically nothing but fighting throughout the whole film. Okay, a little more exaggeration, but there's just a lot of action. Although that was also the downside of that film. There was a bit too much action. Because I like my superhero action, it's just I would like to see less of it in this film. Because I like to sit down, watch the movie, and analyze what has happened between each, like, scenes and action sequences. This here, forget it, but oh my god, there was just not enough breathing room. Like, I had a headache after coming out of the theater. So essentially, they should have turned on the violence and focused more on the actual story itself. And speaking of the actual story, the way they executed certain things bugs me, because the flashbacks themselves, I felt that they were all in one part of the movie. Even though they're spread out, I just felt like they were all chunked together at one point in the movie. I don't know if this is just me, but that's how I saw the flashbacks at least. Now, as for the characters in Man of Steel, I felt that the person who played Superman himself did a good job of playing the actor, because, as I said earlier, the reason why I didn't like Superman was because I couldn't relate to the character. In this movie, I could relate to the character. Even though he's of alien origin, I can still relate to the character, and I actually like seeing him like progress throughout this whole movie. Now, Amy Adams did a very good job of playing the Lois Lane character. I could care less about Lois Lane, but I thought she did a good job. I just felt that the Lois Lane character herself in this movie was really adventurous. Like, too adventurous for my own liking. Because she's doing this and this and this, it's just like, that just doesn't seem like something that character would do. But Amy Adams did an overall good job of playing the character. Now, as for the General Zod of this movie, I'm not too familiar with the actor who plays him, but I felt that he did a good job of playing the character, and also I felt that Zod himself in this movie was a very interesting character in terms of both origin and motivation, because unlike Superman, who was a natural born and had to figure out his purpose in life, Zod was genetically made from scratch and also was given the role of being the general, to be the essential protector of Krypton there. But the one problem I had with Zod in this movie, it was good, I just felt that they should have made him a bit more memorable, because when I left that theater, I thought more of his henchwoman Fiora than I did Zod. There's just a problem when you think more of the henchmen, or women in this case, more than the main villain themselves. Now, speaking of henchwomen, I'm not too familiar with the Fiora character, but I felt that the actress who played her did a very good job of being one of two things. The first being very brutal, and the second being very bloodthirsty. Like, anytime her character just appears on screen, shit goes down, man. Like, you'll know what I'm talking about during the little fight scene sequence in Smallville there. As for the support cast for Man of Steel, Kevin Costner and I forget the other actress's name, but I thought they did a good job of playing Jonathan and Martha Kent, and Russell Crowe playing Jor-El there. I thought that was a fantastic choice for Jor-El. Now, as for Perry White, the military, and the rest of Daily Planet, surprisingly, they were all pretty memorable as support characters, because I don't usually think about the support characters that much, but in this case, you do. Now, for my final verdict on Man of Steel, basically, I like the plot, but I wish they had less action sequences. In terms of characters, I felt the characters who played Superman and the support cast did a fantastic job. I just felt that the Lois Lane character was a bit out of character, and General Zod should have been more memorable. Now, before I give my final rating on Man of Steel, what does everyone else have to say about it? So it looks like Man of Steel got very mixed reviews. I give Man of Steel a 3.5 out of 5. It's good, I just felt that there's a lot more negatives that outweighed the positives. So, out of all the Superman films out there, regardless if it's live action or animated, which one's your favorite? Also, expect more movie reviews in the near future. See you later.